Hey, welcome to DrinkNectar.com. I'm your host, Josh Wade, and this is the internet's place to explore the five senses of coffee and wine. Today we're at Knipprath Cellars out on 5300 block of Commerce Avenue in Spokane Valley. We're going to head on inside and talk to the owner, Henning Knipprath, get an idea of all the different wines they have to offer here, some unique offerings of wine and port here at Knipprath Cellars. So we'll walk inside and see what's going on here. Sitting here the last few minutes with Henning Knipprath, the owner and proprietor of Knipprath Cellars. It's been great. Thank you so much for having me and your time. I know you're very busy. Got a lot to tend to as a business owner. But wanted to share with the people who are watching this a little bit about your winery. I think it's just phenomenal. So tell us, how did you get to this point? Where did Knipprath come from? Sure. Besides your last name.
Well, that's always one of those great questions because there's a story behind everything. Right. This one has its own story too. Essentially, we immigrated out of Germany when I was a teenager. Moved to California. While in Germany, my grandfather was very much into wines, and there wasn't a meal that went by without him pulling out a bottle of German wine. And,
isn't that nice to grow up with that way? It's kind of nice.
It is. You know, it was.
It's a relaxing household.
Absolutely, absolutely. That provided again a vehicle of interest, things to see and do, and further that notion that this would be an interesting business to get into. And part of that is because it's just a wonderful combination of science, artistry, business, marketing, agriculture, and they really all have an integral part in the whole of the wine industry. I got transferred up here to Washington in 1990 by way of the Air Force and the Fairchild Air Force Base.
So, what really intrigued me is just not only just looking through your menu of wine, but also just seeing it out there. And obviously, it's my first time being here. But is the unique offering that you have, so it makes you different than the 650 other wineries that you may see across the state. So, what is it that sets Knipprath apart in the wine that you offer?
I think what makes us definitely a winery worth visiting is the fact that over the years we've kind of been nudged into producing quite a few ports. And that just came about because initially we were producing the pretty familiar lineup of Cabernet, Merlot, and Chardonnay, and we had produced a small amount of port, and there was such an enthusiasm for it that pretty soon it turned out that we were having a challenge. There was a bit of a challenge keeping up with demand. Those tend to go, one thing leads to another, and we kind of went a little more creative with our product and decided to see how with the craze of pairing wine with red wine with chocolate, we thought, well, here's an opportunity to perhaps mesh the two together in the form of the chocolate Cabernet port that we did, and of course you have chocolate, kind of like if you have salt, you have pepper. Sure. We decided, well, let's try it with vanilla beans too. So and so we have a few specialty products that basically were the first in the state to appear. Right. And we also have aging now a coffee port, which is
that's perfect. Coffee and wine together in one bottle.
That's the thing. You have sweetness, you have alcohol content and caffeine.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
It's sure to liven up any part.
I'm sure. That's kind of led you to the evolution, if you will, of Knipprath, and kind of what's the next few steps for you guys. And you talked about branding and what you guys are going to be doing with that over the next few years. So what's around the corner? The
Knipprath name has been so linked with ports that there's usually an eyebrow raised at the news that yes, we also do still wines, and we've had quite a bit of success with those.
You mean Knipprath makes a Merlot? Yes, they do.
Exactly, but then it's branding. There's a branding confusion there that we've run across, and so what we've decided to do newly now is to come up with a second label, transitioning to a greater emphasis on what are known as Iberian varietals, some grapes that are traditionally used in Spanish and Portuguese wines. So we'll be focusing on doing a garnacha, Tempranillo future as well, and also we'll be doing a Torilla Nacional as a dry red offering, which is the Cadillac grape of Portuguese port production.
And people don't realize all these things grow in Washington State.
Yes.
Quite well.
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well, speaking of ports, you poured this before we even started, and I've been smelling it for the last 3, 4, 5 minutes now. Tell us about what we have here in front of us.
Sure. This is our 2007 Matrix port. It's our Ruby style port. This one is actually 100% Syrah and Columbia Valley Syrah. And what I like to do is when people start out with a port tasting, I like to have them start out with the Matrix because it is a Ruby style port, and Ruby ports are crafted to emphasize the grape aspect and not so much the aging aspect. So you get.
So not having a ton of experience with port, what do you expect to get off the nose and the palate of this?
I get a sense of pepper and berry, kind of a blueberry, boysenberry character, but a lot of pepperiness.
Let's give it a sip. That is very good. It's on a sweet, definitely sweet, and that's what you expect on a port. It's like dessert in a glass. And I feel a lot more, like you said, the berry coming through.
Yeah.
And then it dissipates, so it's awesome. Well, I want to thank you very much for having me out here, and that's my first experience. I'm going to go and hopefully enjoy some more of your wine tasting room. I want to encourage you guys to make your way out here. It's on Commerce and Argot?
Commerce and Fancher.
On Commerce and Fancher. And you guys are open Wednesday through Sunday from 12 to 5. Get my facts right here. Life is always meant to be enjoyed with friends. I would encourage you to open up a bottle of port, Knipprath port, and drink happy. Cheers.
Cheers. Pleasure.